Good morning, Facebook. I am nearing the end of my 90 days for the, sorry, my throat's a little scratchy this morning, the Team Heart Live Facebook Challenge. And this idea has kind of been, for today's topic, has kind of been running around in my head, but I really struggled with actually talking about it because there are two things in life that I think are deeply personal. And one is politics, which I don't discuss. I really don't discuss politics with people. I am totally fine with you believing what you want to believe. I have my own opinions, but I'm not a debater, and I definitely don't like the mud and the nastiness and the negativity surrounding politics. So it's kind of like a don't discuss topic, and I don't discuss it hardly ever. And so today I'm going to mention politics, but I want you to know, like, this is not a political stand, and I am not voicing an opinion for everybody to jump on and, like, you know, go back and forth with a whole bunch of political banter. That's not what this live is about. Good morning, Ruth. I have my coffee because I need it today. Thank God it's Friday. I'm wondering how fast it can turn into wine. Okay, so here's the thing. The other thing that I think is a very deeply personal subject is spirituality and religion. And I think that everyone, innately, I think everyone believes in a higher power of some kind. And yes, I know there are those out there who don't believe in a higher power. But for the most part, I would say that the majority of the people in the world feel there is a higher power, feel they are connected to some kind of bigger source than they are. And I want to talk today about conflicts of faith, and not the big, like, dark nights of the soul where, you know, you're crashing down and you've lost all faith in God at all. And I do believe that those happen in life too for everyone. I'm talking about those daily conflicts of faith that we find ourselves in. And I'm just going to kind of ramble a little bit, maybe because partly because, as I mentioned before, I'm really kind of uncomfortable doing this as a live, and partly because my thoughts are kind of all over the place today. Good morning, Lisa. So here we go. I believe that we go through conflicts of faith every day, and they happen in these little tiny moments, and we're not even, sometimes we're aware they're happening, and sometimes we're not. So here is an example. You cannot truly believe in your heart that love is the answer, and then turn around and verbally vomit against somebody, because that's not love, and that's not believing that love is the answer. You can't believe that God is the source of all and gives freely to all and wants to take care of his creations, and then turn around and believe that you don't have enough. You can't have two completely polar opposite opinions in one space. You either really believe one or you really believe the other, and you either really take action towards one or you really take action towards the other. You can't believe, I was raised from the beginning, I was raised in a Christian household. And, it's some of those things that you hear raised in a Christian household are things like, all things work together for good. And you can't believe that and then turn around and I'm throwing this out there, look at our political arena right now and believe that we're all going to hell in a handbasket because of what's happening politically. If you truly believe that God is good and that all things work together for good through God, and that all things are possible through God, you cannot look at the current situation and believe it to be the devastation and the bombs that we in our lives that we believe it is. Because you're either, how do I word this? You're either giving the devil more due or you're giving God more due. Which is it? And which path do you want to walk? Which one do you want to stand firm on? And I know that is a really hard thing to say. And I've had this conversation with many of my friends one-on-one because I'm much more capable of having those conversations in person and debating that topic. But, my grandmother was a very, very stout Christian, and she lived God, loved God, talked God, prayed God. Like, if there was ever an example of what it meant to be a Christian, it was my grandmother. And I grew up under that my whole life, so I've had that always as an example. But when I got older, I began to realize that in her conversation, it was almost as if she was giving the devil more power than she was giving God, because she was so terrified and so worried about, what the devil's workings in the world. And she was so focused on all of that and the negativity and those things that the concept of God is creator, he is love, he is good, he will take care of those who faithfully serve him. Like, that whole concept just went right out the window. Like, she couldn't hold the thought that was truth, because she was constantly over here giving the devil credit for everything. And I don't mean that to bash on my grandmother, because I'm not bashing her. Like I said before, she was an incredibly spiritual person, and she taught me a lot. But she also taught me to really believe what I say. Believe what I say. And sometimes we have those little conflicts of faith that happen all day long. All day long. And we don't even realize we're in a conflict of faith. We're just kind of doing this thing, but internally, our internal system is going red light, red light, red light, because we're in this mode, or we're spouting something that is in direct resistance to the faith that we're trying to walk and to the belief that we're trying to hold. And I know, I can use my weight loss journey, my physical health wellness journey as an example in this, because my heart and my mind are saying, you can be healthy, you can exercise, you can eat right, you can do, all these things, right? But the outward appearance is a whole different conversation. And when I'm faced with those moments where everyone around me is having an ice cream bar because it's, 90 degrees out, and I really want that ice cream bar, but I know if I have it, then I'm going to go over in my calories for the day, or the fat content that I'm allowed for the day. Like that, those are like little conflicts going on inside you. And each one is a challenge to overcome. Each one is a process and a decision, and sometimes we make those decisions in a second and we don't even think about them. But you can be wanting this, you can have a thought and wanting to hold that as the truth in your life, and then have all this stuff going on over here that is in direct conflict. And we have to get rid of this part. We have to become fully into alignment in order for change to happen. And in order for us to live happy, like, you cannot be a happy person if your internal truths are saying one thing, but you're out in the world doing something completely different. Like, you will not be a happy person. You'll be a miserable person. And you can mask it. You can pretend you're happy in certain areas, or, you can let everyone see that you're happy. And then internally you're, ripping yourself apart, and you're feeling horrible, and, you can't sleep at night. Those are conflicts of interest. And, I have some friends that are extremely, extremely political, and the slightest thing that happens in the political arena just throws them into chaos. And these are people that I know are spiritual. I know have, godly backgrounds. I know they've spent years of their lives working to put themselves into a better state of enlightenment. And all I can do is, when I watch them, is think, where did your faith go? Like, when they're spouting about the health industry and health insurance and having to pay for that, and one side or the other of the issue, because it comes from both directions, right? And they're just going on, and I'm like, they're so caught up in this that they have forgotten their faith. And they have either that, or they really truly don't believe what they spout they believe. Because you can't serve two masters. Like that's in the Bible. You cannot serve two masters. And it is so true. You cannot. You either believe that love is the answer, and you push forward the agenda of love no matter what the circumstance is. You either believe that walking in non-judgment is appropriate, or you're out there judging everybody. Like, there is no middle ground. You will do one, or you do the other. You either believe that there is enough for everybody, and you don't begrudge the people that have what you don't have, or you really believe that there's scarcity in the world and that you have to fight for what's yours. So, every aspect has the one side or the other. And where you put your belief, your faith, that's, I'm assuming, where you want to be. And if you aren't walking in that, if you aren't following that in alignment by thought, word, and action, and emotion, then you're serving two masters. So I don't really know where to go with that. I just want you to think about it today. I just want you to think about it this weekend as you're kind of out and about and in the world. I want you to think about those little crisis moments, those little moments of conflict in your faith, and what are they showing you about yourself? What are they teaching you about yourself, if you're willing to learn and to listen? So, I have an event tomorrow that I have to prepare for, and I have a giant event coming up on the 6th that I literally am so swamped in details. My brain hurts at the end of the day. Just thinking about it all. And it's getting, the closer it gets to the event, the less and less I feel like I sleep, because there's so much running through my head that I can't shut it off. So I even dream about my event, which is crazy. But, so I'm kind of a little exhausted right now, and I'm looking forward to my Sunday, which is my day off. I want all of you to know that we're human. We are spiritual beings in a physical body having a human experience, and learning how to handle those conflicts of faith is a major part of this human experience. And it's not an easy journey. And self-evaluation is an even harder journey, but it's worth it in the end. So to all of my friends and family and those who are following, I just want you to know that thank God it is Friday, and have a fantastic weekend. I will most likely see you tomorrow, and I'm hoping to do my live at my event just to give you a glimpse of what my event is like. I'll talk to you later. Bye.